1947. The year was marked by post-war recovery, new beginnings, and strange, unexplained events. Among these was a mystery so chilling and perplexing that it continues to haunt maritime history to this day. It began with a cryptic and disturbing distress signal picked up by multiple ships traversing the Indian Ocean. This message, transmitted in Morse code, would go on to become one of the most famous, unsolved mysteries of the sea. The content of the message was simple but terrifying. All officers, including the captain, are dead, lying in the chart room and on the bridge. Possibly the whole crew is dead. I am dying. After a brief pause, the transmission ended with an ominous word. I die. Then, silence. This harrowing message spread fear among ships and coastal stations alike. What could have happened to warrant such a dire plea for help? What horrors awaited those who dared to investigate? Today, we dive deep into the haunting story of the SS Ourang Medan, exploring every chilling detail, eerie speculation, and possible explanation for this maritime enigma. Prepare yourself, as this journey into the unknown is not for the faint of heart. Chapter 1. The mysterious signal. The strange distress signal was first intercepted by an American ship, the Silver Star. Operating in the waters near the Strait of Malacca, this vessel's crew quickly realized the gravity of the situation. The message was relayed in clear Morse code, but its contents were almost too bizarre to believe. For context, distress signals are only sent in life or death scenarios. They are a sailor's final cry for help when there is no other way to communicate with the outside world. This particular signal, however, was unlike any other. Instead of describing a mechanical failure, fire, or sinking, the message hinted at something far more sinister. What could have killed the crew so suddenly and completely? Why was there no mention of a tangible threat like pirates or a storm? And most chillingly, who was sending this message if possibly the whole crew is dead? Chapter 2. The search begins. Despite the cryptic and terrifying nature of the signal, the Silver Star's captain decided to investigate. Some reports suggest that other ships in the area chose to ignore the message, fearing what they might find. After all, maritime folklore is filled with tales of cursed ships and ghostly apparitions. But the crew of the Silver Star was determined to uncover the truth. The distress signal had included rough coordinates, placing the source somewhere in the Strait of Malacca. This narrow stretch of water, located between Malaysia and Indonesia, is one of the busiest maritime routes in the world. Yet, the area where the signal originated was remote, far from the usual shipping lanes. After hours of searching, the crew finally spotted a large vessel drifting aimlessly on the horizon. It was the SS Ourang Medan. The ship appeared lifeless, with no signs of activity on deck. Its engine was silent and it seemed to be at the mercy of the ocean currents. Chapter 3. Boarding the ghost ship. As the Silver Star approached, an eerie stillness enveloped the air. The ocean, usually alive with the sounds of waves and wind, seemed unnaturally quiet. The Ourang Medan loomed large and foreboding, its hull weathered but intact. There were no visible signs of damage or distress, yet the silence was deafening. Attempts to communicate with the ship were met with no response. The Silver Star's captain ordered his crew to prepare for boarding, though many were reluctant. The unsettling nature of the distress signal, combined with the ghostly appearance of the ship, had already taken a toll on their nerves. Finally, a small team of sailors climbed aboard the Ourang Medan. What they found would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Chapter 4. A scene of horror. The deck of the Ourang Medan was strewn with bodies. The crew lay lifeless, their faces contorted in expressions of sheer terror. Eyes wide open, mouths agape, their arms were outstretched as if warding off an invisible assailant. It was as though they had been frozen in the midst of their final, horrifying moments. The captain was found in the chart room, slumped over a table. Officers and crew members were scattered across the ship, from the bridge to the engine room. Even the ship's dog was not spared. It lay dead, its teeth bared in a snarl, as though growling at something unseen. One of the most chilling discoveries was the radio operator. He was found seated at his station, his lifeless hand still clutching the Morse key. It was clear that he had sent the distress signal moments before succumbing to the same mysterious fate as the rest of the crew. Despite the overwhelming scene of death, there were no signs of injury or struggle. There was no blood, no visible wounds, and no indication of violence. The bodies showed no external damage, yet the expressions of terror suggested they had died in unimaginable agony. Chapter 5. Below deck. Determined to uncover the cause of this tragedy, the Silver Star's crew ventured below deck. The engine room, usually a sweltering, noisy hub of activity, was eerily quiet and unnaturally cold. This stark temperature difference only added to the unsettling atmosphere. The lifeless bodies of engineers and mechanics were found sprawled across the room. Tools lay scattered on the floor as if dropped mid-task. The scene was identical to what had been observed above deck. No visible injuries, but the same haunting expressions of terror. Further exploration revealed no clues. The cargo hold was intact, with no signs of fire, flooding, or chemical leaks. The ship's logbook and other documents were missing, leaving investigators with no information about the ship's journey or the events leading up to the disaster. Chapter 6: The Explosion. Recognizing the potential dangers of remaining aboard, the Silver Star's captain decided to tow the Ourang Medan back to port for further investigation. However, as preparations were underway, smoke began to rise from the ship's lower decks. Within minutes, flames erupted, and the crew of the Silver Star was forced to retreat. Before anyone could react, a massive explosion tore through the Ourang Medan. The blast was so powerful that it split the ship in two, sending debris flying into the air. The wreck quickly sank into the depths of the ocean, taking with it any remaining evidence of what had transpired. The crew of the Silver Star was left stunned and shaken. They had narrowly escaped with their lives, but the mystery of the Ourang Medan remained unsolved. Chapter 7: Theories and Speculation. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed to explain the fate of the Ourang Medan. Some suggest a chemical leak, possibly from hazardous cargo such as nitroglycerin or potassium cyanide. These substances could have created toxic fumes, killing the crew and causing the explosion. Others believe the ship fell victim to a supernatural force. Maritime folklore is filled with tales of cursed ships and vengeful spirits. Could the Ourang Medan have encountered something beyond human understanding? A third theory involves piracy. However, this explanation is less likely, given the absence of injuries or signs of struggle. Pirates would have looted the ship, leaving clear evidence of their presence. Finally, some speculate that the Ourang Medan was involved in secret government experiments or espionage. The missing logbook and the mysterious nature of the ship's voyage lend some credibility to this idea. However, no concrete evidence has ever been found to support these claims. Conclusion: to this day, the story of the SS Ourang Medan remains one of the greatest mysteries of the sea. With no survivors, no official records, and no definitive explanation, the ship's fate is shrouded in speculation and legend. Perhaps the truth lies at the bottom of the ocean, buried beneath layers of silt and time. Or perhaps it's a story that will never be fully understood, a chilling reminder of the dangers and mysteries that lurk in the depths of the sea.